clown is, well, he kind of looks like John Wayne Gacy, and loves to do what Gacy did. The only exception is he likes killing women in cold blood.
Trump administration appears to be actively trying to cover up for the killer of Renee Good. That was the mother of three. She was the Michigan or Minnesota woman who was shot in cold blood by one of Donald Trump's brown shirts. So I have news on that front. I also have a leaked video to share with you guys. This is from the cell phone, I believe, from leaked video was shared by a member of the Trump administration who ridiculously believed this was going to exonerate Ross. Press that the Trump administration is completely wrong about his ex-wife. He said she took part in youth mission trips when she was younger. And then Good's current partner issued a lengthy public statement, which read in part, quote, "If you ever encountered my wife, Renee Nicole Macklin Good, you know that above all else, she was kind. In fact, kindness radiated out of her. Renee lived by an overarching belief. There is kindness in the world, and we need to do everything we can to find it where it resides and nurture it where it needs to grow. Renee was a Christian who knew that all religions teach the same essential truth. We are here to love each other, care for each other, and keep each other safe and whole. On Wednesday, January 7th, we stopped to support our neighbors. We had whistles, they had guns."
Are numbered, especially after an interview she gave to Jake Tapper this morning, an interview that, based on what I understand, has Republicans extremely concerned, both on Capitol Hill and in the White House, essentially about her ability to continue doing the job. She failed to properly articulate the administration's goals and points on CNN in a stunning interview that could be the beginning of being more anxious and more nervous about what Kristi Noem is up to. And well, this isn't gonna alleviate any of their concerns. We're gonna go through this interview right now. But make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Support my work by be the first cabinet member to leave the administration. And this interview is exactly why. So this morning, she appeared on Jake Tapper's CNN interview, and she was asked point blank what the difference was between the president's pardons of January 6th insurrectionists, including those that attacked law enforcement, and her rhetoric around the ICE shooting of Renee Nicole Good in Minneapolis. I want you to take a listen to this because she didn't have an answer, and it's pretty stunning.
I want to ask a question about the rules of how law enforcement is allowed to engage when feeling threatened, per your assertions. Because I want to show some video to you right now and ask, what is the appropriate response for the police officers in this situation? Those are law enforcement officers being physically attacked. By this standard, would any of those officers be justified in shooting and killing the people causing them physical harm?
Every single situation is going to rely on the situation those officers are on. But they know that when people are putting hands on them, when they are using weapons against them, when they are physically harming them, that they have the authority to arrest those individuals.
The president pardoned every single one of those people.
And make sure that they're getting justice for their actions going forward.
President Trump pardoned every single one of those people.
And every single one of these investigations comes in the full context of the situation on.
What is she saying? I'm a little confused. Every single one of these investigations comes in the full context. I'm not sure what she's saying, but take a listen.
The ground. And that's one thing that President Trump has been so focused on, is making sure that when we're out there, we don't pick and choose which situations are and which laws are enforced and which ones aren't. Every single one of them is being enforced under the Trump administration, and the clarity of the law stands. And if people don't like it, these members of Congress and elected officials should go change the law and make sure they have that debate and policy.
But she's saying, and this is what I'm confused about, she's saying that every one of those laws are enforced by the Trump administration. They're enforced equally, right? And if you have a problem with the law, go to your legislature, change the law. But Trump actually pardoned every single one of the January 6th defendants who attacked law enforcement, right? He pardoned them. So there is an unequal application of the law, and she was pressed on this. I want you to take a listen.
Just video of people attacking law enforcement officers. Undisputed proof, undisputed evidence. And I just said President Trump pardoned all of them. And you said that President Trump is enforcing all the laws equally. It's just not true. There's a different standard for law enforcement officials being attacked if they're being attacked by Trump supporters. We just saw that.
This individual and these instances and these investigations all have to be taken and done correctly in context of every situation that is happening on the ground. So what we are doing today as the Department of Homeland Security is out there with our law enforcement officers, making sure that we're targeting the worst of the worst and that we're talking factually about each situation and making sure that we're bringing those perpetuators of violence back to justice, bringing them to justice and making sure they face consequences for their crimes. We'd love to have the partnership of Mayor Fry. We'd love to have the partnership of the Chief of Police and of Governor Walz every day when we're out there to make sure they tone down the rhetoric and they do the right thing for the people of Minnesota.
All right, well, we'll ask Mayor Fry and the Chief of Police in just a couple moments. Thank you so much,
Great.
Madam Secretary.
She didn't really answer the question, right? She didn't really answer how what the Trump administration is doing with the rioters on January 6th compared to what they're doing with ICE agents in Minnesota. She didn't really answer the question. I want you to take a listen to, she confirmed that it could have been Jonathan Ross, the ICE agent who killed Renee Nicole Good, and bleeping bleep, really bad words. And I want you to take a listen.
That he's alive too. I want to play this moment from the officer's cell phone video. This is number 7, folks.
Get out of the mall. Fucking bitch.
Is that Agent Ross's voice calling Renee Good a fucking bitch?
I can't determine which one it is, but it could be, sir.
In June of last year.
Could be actual investigation. Like, how can you just assume that Renee Nicole Good was a domestic terrorist without an investigation? Take a listen.
You've also been criticized for your comments. The shooting, we should note, was Wednesday at 10:37 a.m. Eastern. Just over 2 hours later, the Department of Homeland Security put out a statement definitively asserting what had happened, defending the ICE agent, accusing Renee Good of domestic terrorism. That's a characterization that you reiterated in a press conference half an hour later. Now, Republican Senator Tom Tillis said, quote, "It was very unusual to have a senior law enforcement official to draw a conclusion about an event where the scene was still being processed. Generally speaking, law enforcement would recognize that a life was lost, that families are changed forever, the shooter's life will change forever. We're collecting video. We're trying to assess the situation." Why did you not wait for an investigation before making your comments?
Oh, well, everything that I've said has been proven to be factual and the truth. This administration wants to operate in transparency. I have the responsibility as the Secretary of Homeland Security to know this information as soon as possible. Had just been in Minneapolis the day before, had already had conversations with officers on the ground and supervisors and knew the facts and decided that the department and the people of this country deserve to know the truth of the situation of what had unfolded in Minneapolis.
But with all due respect, Secretary, the first thing you said was, quote, "What happened was our ICE officers were out in an enforcement action. They got stuck in the snow."
Correct.
Because of the adverse weather that is in Minneapolis. They were attempting to push out their vehicle, and a woman attacked them and those surrounding them and attempted to run them over and rammed them with her vehicle. That's not what happened. We all saw what happened.
It absolutely is what happened. Those officers had been out in enforcement action. A vehicle had been stuck. They had come to help get that vehicle out. That's when this individual started blocking traffic for minutes and minutes.
You said that the
before
woman
this
attacked them and surrounded them and attempted to run them over and ram them with her vehicle.
Blocked the
You want
road
someone
for
to believe a
a
lie?
long time and was
All you have
yelling
to do
at
is
them
tell it to
and
them
impeding
over
a federal
and
law
over.
enforcement investigation. That's what you need to focus on, Jake, is they were breaking the law by impeding.
That's not what happened. I mean, everyone can watch the video. And based on what I understand, a lot of people on Capitol Hill, specifically in the Republican caucus, they're worried. They're nervous. They saw this interview this morning. They're getting reactions from their constituents. They're like, what the hell is happening at the Department of Homeland Security? I mean, that is the truth right now. Way out, we will see what happens next. I will provide you more updates.